Hey, Pop, I want to let you know that I'm in the great red state of Florida right now.
You're in Florida?
So I'm not sure how you're going to feel about this.
Uh-huh. I'm okay with Florida. I'm okay with Florida. Yeah, I ain't got no problem. I ain't got no problem with any of our states. Matter of fact, I was just telling a friend of mine, I don't even have a problem with Trump as a human being. I just have a problem with him as our president. Okay, guys.
I mean, the fact that you could separate that, I need that. I need that explained.
Hey, Aaron, watch this. He didn't say that while it's being recorded now.
Yeah, it's recorded. It's being recorded. Matter of fact, I'm going to leave this on the. I'm gonna leave this as part of the episode. Both of the platforms are up and running right now. So yeah. But I just told a friend that we had a lunch. We have a lunch of some of my previous workers, and I said, and I mean that I've been consistent with that. Truthfully, I do not hate Trump. I do not dislike Trump. I just think he's a terrible president, and I just don't think he's representing us well. I would prefer, it's like having a quarterback of your favorite team. You've got this quarterback. It's not that you hate him or don't like him. It's just that he sucks as a quarterback, and you'd rather have a better quarterback. That's all. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Aaron. You said you didn't understand that.
No, I mean I get it now. You gave the definitions I was looking for.
Okay, good. All right, thank you, brother. And I think okay, so we'll go ahead and get into to this episode. Hey, folks, we got a little early start before we actually did our introduction. But this is DNA Hardwired, Common Sense Turned Upside Down. Another episode here. Thanks for joining us. This is Pop. With me is Jackie, his brother Aaron, and I've got another brother that's also joining us. So what we're looking at doing is going ahead and kind of continuing on what we've been covering for the last few episodes, basically dealing with politics and a little bit about race and racism. You guys got any initial words you want to say before we kind of get into this thing? Officially.
Hey, as usual. Thanks to all the listeners. Thanks for listening, taking a little time out of your Sunday to give us a little time. Appreciate that. Keep listening.
All right, that was Jackie. Anything, Aaron?
I'm just ready to get started, man.
Okay, all right then.
That means he woke up on fire. That's what that means.
Well, all right. And also, by the way, listeners, we're all located in different states. This podcast is basically is taking place through phone call. Jackie, you're in Dallas, right?
No, I'm based out of Dallas, but I'm in Florida right now.
Yeah, Jackie, he's a traveler, so yeah. And Aaron, you're where you at, Aaron?
I'm in Georgia.
And Aaron's in Georgia, and I'm here in Phoenix, Arizona, breaking all kind of heat records. Okay. So we're ready to go ahead and get started. What I wanted to do is go ahead and kind of loop back around on some of the points that was made on some of the more recent episodes that we didn't get a chance to get to. So I'll go ahead and start. And you guys correct me. I'm sure you will as we go along. I had pointed, and we're basically talking about politics, mainly Democrats, Republicans, who's best for the country, who's best for minorities, blacks in general. We've been talking about why black males, especially this last cycle, went ahead and voted for Trump. We've been discussing things like that. And so there's a lot of other issues that then kind of coming up, supporting our different points of views. And one of the things was that I had pointed out that now this was on a previous episode, I had pointed out that the national debt under Obama versus Trump, and Aaron said it was smoke and mirrors, right, Aaron? And Jackie verified that too. These two brothers, they be backing each other up, okay? And that's good. That's good. But so
I think that the evidence that you got your hands on that they kind of backed it up too.
Okay.
So I'm definitely interested in hearing where we go with this.
Okay, yeah, because I've got some supporting points on that. Yeah, and so Aaron pointed out that he called the fact Obama raised the debt ceiling 7 times during his 8 years, and he's right about that. Obama the debt increased about 7 times in his 8 years. But here's a point that I'm contesting, and Aaron can go ahead and check that out. But and it's on tape, so you said it, Aaron. I played it over more than once. He said Obama raised the debt from 500 billion to 17 trillion in 8 years. Do you remember saying that?
Yes.
Okay. And then I had said, I honestly don't know if I should call that statement smoke and mirrors or something else. So here's the fact. No, President Obama did not raise the national debt from 500 billion to 17 trillion. The national debt was already over 10 trillion when he took office in 2009, and it rose to nearly 20 trillion by the time he left office in 2017. Under the Obama administration, the debt increased by roughly $9 trillion over the 2 terms. But guess what? Trump right now is on course to raise it by $12 trillion in just 4 years. And that's not any smoke and mirrors. Those are just facts. So if we're just looking at the debt and who's raising the debt, there's a history, and this history is a little bit more recent, with Trump right now in office, done raised the debt almost 3 trillion just in his right now, almost 3 trillion just in the first year. Now, go ahead. You got a response to that, Aaron, or Jackie?
Hold up.
I would say,
Go ahead, Aaron.
I would say things like cash for clunkers would have benefited that, where you're sending basically our metal across seas. It simply put would mask that number.
Now repeat what you said.
I don't recall Trump having any things like cash for clunkers. Remember when we were sending a ton of steel to China?
Say that again, Aaron.
Remember cash for clunkers?
Yes, yeah, I remember that, yeah.
What were we doing?
Yeah, but see,
what was the benefit of cash for clunkers?
See, here's my thing. For me, it really doesn't matter so much so when we're talking about the debt. Now, as far as why the debt was being raised, we can get into that too. But the simple fact is, Obama did not raise the debt more than Trump, and historically, Democrats don't raise the debt more. It's the Republicans that raise the debt more. Historically, that's factual. Now, why they're doing it? Hey, there's different reasons, and we can get into that. Like right now, Trump.
War.
That's right. That's right. Trump just started another war. That's
right. So of course you're going to raise the debt ceiling.
Yeah.
You're about to send trillions of dollars to send men across seas, or literally send machinery across seas.
That's right.
Either way it goes, of course, that's going to be the cause of that.
Yeah, and so if you look back, recent history, which party started these wars? Those are the type of things that I take in consideration whenever I'm looking at whether I'm going to vote Republican or Democrat, or for Trump or Harris, or, I look at the things that they have a history of doing, and then I look at what they're doing. So, but anyway, on that point about the deficit, I just wanted to run back on that one. So let's see here. Biden, as far as him raising the debt, he actually raised it 8.4 trillion during his 4 years. So he upped it some too. At the end of Biden's, and I don't like these statistics, but that we got to have a point of reference, I think. At the end of Biden's term, the national debt was 36 trillion. The national debt at this time is approximately 39 trillion. So just in 1 year, that's why I said it's going to be projected, if it keeps going the way it is, it's going to be like around $12 trillion. Just in 1 year, Trump has raised the debt $3 trillion. Now that's in 1 year. Now, does the national debt in and of itself reflect the overall state of the economy? No, there's other things we need to consider. But go ahead. I'm sorry, Aaron. Go ahead, brother.
To say that he's projected to raise it and then ignore the fact that, hey man, this is in preparation for war.
Oh no, I'm good with including the war. I'm good with including that a big part of the reason that the debt's going to go up is this war. I'm okay with that. But that's a self-inflicted wound. He did that. That's what Republicans do in general.
Absolutely. And to take into account that the country operates in $1 trillion debt.
Yes.
Annually.
Yes.
They operate in $1 trillion debt. So to say that, okay, from the last Democratic president to Trump again, it's raised $3 trillion with the country that's operating at $1 trillion in debt. So we absolutely needed one. I don't think we're comparing apples to apples. When Obama was in office, the country was saying we're coming out of war. We're getting your kids out of Iran. We're bringing them back home. So I don't understand the comparison.
Well, the comparison,
the heavy machinery over there.
Yeah, the comparison is we got one party who's whatever way they can trying to save money on stuff we don't need to be spending money on, like unnecessary wars, getting our soldiers, getting our young men and women killed. We got one party that and we got another party that's kind of willy-nilly. Let's be honest. We know that wars generate a lot of money for certain people. And that's those people up at the top, own all these businesses, own all these companies. That wars generate a lot of income for them. We know that.
Correct.
And they don't really care about us down here at the bottom, not really. Right? It's all about them. That's all they care about. They don't care about your sons and daughters going to war, getting killed. So again, I take that in consideration when I'm looking at who I'm going to vote for. Neither party. Let's go back to this again. Neither party is perfect. Both parties have flaws, and I acknowledge that 100%. For me, the Democrats aren't perfect. There's some things with and as Jackie knows, there's things with the Democratic Party that I do not agree with. And I'm very open about that. But when I look at overall, for me, I need to make a choice. I don't have to, but for me, I need to make a choice because somebody's going to be guiding this ship. Somebody's going to be running this show. And I want to make sure that whoever it is going to represent us. I mean, I'm sure you heard what this crazy man just said. Robert Mueller just died. This is what we're dealing with. Robert Mueller just died. Now, Robert Mueller, he served in Vietnam. He's a war hero, so to speak. Bronze medal, a Purple Heart, got injured, and all this other kind of stuff. Served his country, FBI head, all this other good stuff. And this man just died. And you know what Trump's words were? His first words, "I'm glad he's dead." He said that out loud. I'm glad he's dead. This is the person that we have leading our country, leading the Republican Party. Nobody seemed to be outraged in the Republican Party about that type of statement. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, am I kind of used to him having a level of shock value? Yeah. I mean, yeah. Truth be told, those are things that I absolutely don't. I don't agree with.
Right.
However, I had two horrible options.
Two horrible options?
Like,
Did you say, Aaron? Aaron, did you say two horrible options?
I mean, if there was one clear good one and one clear horrible one, I would have stood at the pole like everybody else.
Uh-huh.
But you can't sit in office as a vice president and play Where's Waldo on real issues. Like as long as she was there, man, I never really heard from her. Like I heard from her around election time when when you wanted things like DACA to be DACA, however you want to pronounce it. When you want stuff like that to be at the forefront, that's the only time I heard anything from her. She sounded every time she spoke, she just sounded like some humanitarian. I don't trust people like that. I'd much rather trust a person who has an opinion, whether it's horrible or not.
Okay. And again, it just comes. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, and I got it. I'm not even co-signing on Aaron with that one right there, but I agree. Like, to me, and I've said this on this podcast before, Kamala Harris to me wasn't a better option. I can say that I'm not sitting over here saying that I agree with everything Trump did. Some of the shit that he says, we all know he's going to say shit that's going to be shocking to everybody that's listening to him, including people on the Republican side of the aisle. We know that. So we need to stop acting like we are shocked when he says stupid shit. Like, you glad somebody passed away?
Well,
okay.
well, it's cool. It's okay, Brother Jackie, that he says stupid shit. But when he starts doing stupid shit, that's the part we need to deal with. And he does a lot of that. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
I'm sorry. I know this is out of order, but I can't hold my tongue right now.
That's the other brother.
So look, a better option. So when you're talking about options, you're talking about a choice between something and something. So when you have an option and you have two opposing anything, then it's clear and clear that your option is between one or the other. So I'm just crazy enough to believe if you're giving me two opposing whatever it is, and you're asking me to choose which is better as it relates to Trump and Kamala Harris, now I know what my option is, then it's clear and clear that the better option out of what you have given me is Kamala Harris. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, if it was him, her, and somebody else, then you may have a difference of opinion.
Thank you.
But when you just only have two, and
those are the two
between those two options, then it's a no-brainer what the better option is.
What did you just say? What did you just say about the no-brainer? Did Jackie and Aaron hear what you just said?
It's a no-brainer.
My goodness.
On that, right?
Good. My goodness. Go ahead. What did you say, Aaron?
Without naming racism, what's the difference?
Say that again, brother.
The better between two evils. So that's just like you giving me a choice. Do you want to have diabetes or do you want to have congestive heart failure? Either one of them may not be the ideal, but if you're asking me which one I'm going to choose, I'm choosing diabetes. I'm sorry.
But here's the problem. To me, here's a problem. Your choices aren't that similar.
Right.
To me, it's like to me it's a choice. To me,
you're gonna choose what you think is the better out of the two.
Yeah, but to me, the choice would be more like you have a choice between congestive heart failure and possibly maybe your slight blood pressure, maybe you got a little issue with your blood pressure. The choice is maybe that's severe, and then you make a choice. But it's not, to me, it's not as close as what you said they were. To me, like your brother said.
So you make it extreme to highlight that you have a choice.
Right.
Choose one.
Right.
So now, watch this. Based off of what he just said, for a lot of people that voted, Trump was the diabetes choice.
Yeah, I hear you.
Harris was congestive heart failure.
Let me tell you something about the Trump supporters. Let me tell you something about the Trump supporters. Typical, not saying you, Jackie, but typical Trump supporter. And I know you've seen these. They've interviewed Trump supporters at different rallies and different situations. CNN, YouTubers. Let me finish though. YouTubers. I mean, and this has been consistent. They'll get a Trump supporter and they'll say, hey, which do you prefer? The ACA or Obamacare? And you know their response, right? I prefer the ACA. I prefer the ACA. This is consistent. That's right. They do this consistently.
I get that.
So if you get that, this is the problem to me with the typical, especially the MAGA one, especially the MAGA Republican. They're not very informed, and they're making these decisions,
right,
and they're not informed. But go ahead.
Well, we know that. We know there's a large percentage of the voting population are uninformed. I get that. They're based off emotions. But guess what? On the other side of the aisle, on the traditional Democratic side of the aisle, you have a bunch of uninformed voters over there. So they cancel each other out.
No, I don't agree with that.
No.
Okay. All right. Come on, Pop.
Here's my thing.
Come on, Pop. You can't do that.
No, I don't agree. I don't agree. I mean, they do. So let me lower my voice. But they conduct these surveys and different types of things, and they find that the Democratic voter is more educated and informed than the Republican voter. Even Donald Trump himself, he's a pretty honest man. Even he says that the uneducated votes for him, and he loves the uneducated. Even Trump knows it. He said it. So no, they're not the same.
He's saying he'll run as a Republican because he know he can tell them anything.
Right, and that's what
he said it back in like 1985 on. He said it. I watched it. I saw that show.
Yeah, and
I get that.
You get it? What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
I get that.
Yeah, because the other side of it is, man, he still is for less government interference.
What did you just say?
Everything related to Democratic Party, social programs, and government interference.
Did you just say?
You have more government interference now.
Thank you.
Than you ever had.
Thank you, brother.
Everything that you can think of has been repealed and rolled back.
Thank you, brother.
Look, he done put his name on government entities like he building Trump Tower.
Thank you, brother.
And guess what? It's falling off. Everything with his name on died.
Government interference.
And everything that he done touched is dying.
This man is a little dictator. You can't get no more government interference than that. He bypasses Congress. He disobeys the courts. He's trying to rule the world.
I love the fact that you bypass the purchase Congress.
Anytime you start a whole war to cover up the fact that you're a pedophile that's been caught in a pedophile ring.
Yeah. And also
no more government interference.
Be careful with that. Be careful with that. The Democrats and Republicans with that Epstein. Let's not go there.
Yeah, but it's only a Republican that's over everything right now. It's not saying that Democrats not caught up in it.
See, that's what I like about
Republican. If he wanted to get them Democrats, if he can just get the Democrats in trouble, he'll go for it.
Yeah,
but he can't do that.
Yeah. See that, and that's what I love about us Democrats, or at least left-leaning people, is we're willing to acknowledge again Democrats, their hands aren't all clean either. But right now, we're talking about the president. We're talking about the president of the United States of America. We're not
a Republican.
What was that again, brother?
I said, and he runs as a Republican.
Yes. Yes. So,
And all we're finding out with Epstein, man, is that simply put, in order to have a level of notoriety that transcends outside of the basically these 50 America, bro, you most likely have some sort of connection to Epstein. So
yeah.
that whole truth is not going to be stated. I don't think that simply put, man, anybody that we are familiar with is unfamiliar with that place. When you want people like Whoopi Goldberg at that motherfucker, I mean at that place, believe me, bro, everybody was an option.
Yeah. See, my thing with the Epstein files, though. See, me personally, I'm not too caught up in the Epstein files myself. That's just another little small part for me in this whole thing. But I can see where Trump, it's a big deal for Trump. You know, I can see that. But let me point out something else here.
Because right now you're a sitting president.
What was that again?
I'm saying because right now you're a sitting president.
Yes.
But right. I don't think there's any sitting president in the past 30, 40 years, man, that don't have some sort of history to that island.
Give an example. Some sort of history. Yeah, some sort of history. But which other one, other than Donald Trump, which of those presidents has been linked to possible child molestation? Other than Donald Trump, which one? And I'm not saying it's not being confirmed yet. Don't get me wrong. I haven't heard that there's been any confirmation. But which other president has there even been a hint that he may have had some inappropriate contact with a minor other than Trump?
Bill.
Who?
Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton.
No, I haven't heard that.
Clinton.
With a minor?
Yeah.
He's in a tub at Epstein Island.
Okay,
man,
so
he man got a whole photo, a whole painting.
He's part of the Epstein file.
But I agree. He is in the Epstein file. He is in the Epstein file.
Right. But the thing is,
so what we're saying is get everybody because it's wrong.
I want, but I am not in. Look, let me say, I am not.
That's something I absolutely agree with.
I am not in disagreement with that statement at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 100% in agreement with that.
So why you can't get everybody? Because our sitting president,
there you go,
the ringleader.
There you go.
If Kamala Harris, if Kamala Harris would have got elected, you don't think she'd be trying to hide the Democrats that was over there too?
No, if Kamala Harris would, let me tell you something. To me, if Kamala Harris would have gotten elected, we wouldn't even be talking about Epstein. When Biden was elected, when Obama was elected, we wasn't even talking about Epstein. Trump is the one and the Republicans who brought up Epstein, tried to make it a big deal. They're the ones that brought this stuff up in the first place. We don't get, generally, right. Democrats don't get caught up.
The campaign from.
Yes. Generally, Democrats don't get caught up in that kind of craziness. No. Kamala, if Kamala was a president, we wouldn't even be talking about Epstein. In my mind. Hey, let me get on something else here real quick.
An operation?
What was that again?
Run on
it. Because he's still being in operation?
No, because that's not what she ran on.
No, that's exactly right.
Ran on the Epstein file.
That's right. Because he thought he was going to get some Democrats, and the dumb fool forgot that he's spread throughout the Epstein files. What an idiot! They should have been downplaying this thing about Epstein. They should have been running from it, but they're not very bright. And then look, they called Hillary and Bill Clinton before Congress, right? Why? Why did they call those two? Hillary Clinton wasn't even mentioned.
Every other country.
Hillary Clinton wasn't even mentioned. What was that again?
I said, and it's embarrassing. Every other country besides the U.S. have started holding
doing something about it.
So accountable, but the U.S.
Right?
So we the powerhouse.
Right.
That's not a good look.
Right. okay, let me get on something else here.
I'm in agreement with that. I think all stones need to be uncovered. I'm with that. But the thing is, when all stones get exposed, don't be shocked when it was underneath.
You know what?
Because
Again,
the rich and famous, I don't care what party you belong to.
That's
the rich
right.
and famous think that they got different rules that apply to them.
But guess what? We all know the rich and famous got a set of different rules that apply to them. We know that by default. We know that. We can't even think that we're gonna hold them accountable to the rules you and I have to abide by every day.
right.
But I guarantee
that probably would be under presidential
had Obama been embezzled in the Epstein files, it'd have been closed, done, impeachment, jail, everything.
Absolutely
agree.
Harris wasn't in there either. Kamala wasn't in there. I mean,
if she was in there, it'd been over.
We got all of these. See, there's all of these reasons.
She did her dirt with the governor in San Francisco. Now let's chill out.
Yeah, we got.
Now.
She did her dirt with the governor in San Francisco. Let's chill out, man. Gave all her young years to it. Let's not talk about her history.
Well, I'm okay with that. No, with Kamala, I'm okay with that. Hey, look.
Talking about the Senate president of the U.S.
But not only that, here we go again with these comparisons. How does that compare? You have a woman who's let's just say they bumping knees with the governor. How does that compare? Those are two conceding.
Whoa. I'm not saying at all that there's a comparison.
Oh, that's not what you said?
I said that simply put, no, there's no comparison there.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying that simply put, she's not in there because she spent her time growing in other ways, like the governor in San Francisco. That's all I said, and we're not going to compare it. I'm not saying that what she did and what he did is on the same level.
Oh, okay,
no
okay.
Comparison.
Sorry. I
don't want somebody who raped his child, and I damn sure don't want somebody who slept their way to the top. I know they don't know shit.
Well, again, as far as Kamala sleeping her way to the top, I don't know of any evidence of that.
That part, huh?
Yeah, I don't know of any evidence of that.
Okay. I tell you what, that's real easy.
Okay.
That's real easy because she basically was dating this governor in San Francisco, this black guy out there. Before she was dating her husband, that she's married now.
Wasn't that the mayor?
He was a governor, mayor, or something.
Okay, that sounds like two consenting adults.
What did you just say?
Not adult with no child.
What did you just say? Did you say something about two consenting adults dating?
Adults.
Once again,
from an adult and a child. I'm sorry.
Once again, we're not fixing to have the conversation as if I said that's a comparison.
But Aaron,
you brought it.
Aaron, you brought it up, though, brother. Why?
Yes, they're both fruits.
Hold on.
But they're different fruits.
Hold on.
If you want to compare apples and oranges, then he's an orange and she's a tangerine.
Hey man, we could spend the next 30 minutes trying to make that comparison that I was not making.
Okay.
I was not making a comparison related to her basically what I feel sleeping away into politics compared to what I feel about Trump and with a 12, 13-year-old child.
Right.
Well, look,
I think that man should burn in hell for that.
Right.
My choice would still be if you sleep your way to the top or you rape your way to the top, I'm going to take sleep.
Right.
No what?
I mean, in most of these scenarios, in most of these scenarios, Republicans in general just aren't looking good. The party is just not looking good. Let me change gears slightly, ever so slightly. I still want to kind of loop back around to some of the things we had covered before. Aaron had an issue with the fact that the unemployment rate is consistently lower under Democrats rather than Republicans, because I had made that point. I had made that point that generally the unemployment rate is consistently lower under Democrats rather than Republicans. And Aaron felt that the industries measured that mattered. He felt, again, it was smoke and mirrors. He said low-paying jobs shouldn't be considered when measuring the unemployment rate. Well, the key industries monitored, the ones that they use for monitoring unemployment rates, include agriculture, manufacturing, construction, leisure and hospitality, and professional services. These sectors are analyzed to measure hiring, job quits, losses, and overall labor force stability. The agriculture sector and the service-related jobs, particularly leisure and hospitality, often seem higher or more volatile unemployment. So that is why they are used to give an overall picture of the economy unemployment rate. Manufacturing, mining, and transportation are closely watched for declines or weakness, which may indicate broad economic issues. Healthcare and professional services are heavily tracked for job growth and projections. Other key factors include financial activities, construction, government, federal, state, blah, blah, blah. Now, these metrics are used for both Democrats and Republican administrations. And it's a clear indicator of how the country performs under each party. So both parties must be using the same smoke and mirrors then. You know, they must be using the same smoke mirrors. And this is from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. But go ahead.
Now, I don't have any facts on this. This is just me and my opinion. Now, with those metrics, and I've been a black man for 52 years, and with those metrics, just by me listening to them, I can safely assume that those are not jobs that, as relates to people of color, specifically black, that we are pushed toward, we are having a divested interest in, that we want to consider to pursue, because in my opinion, we quick to say, oh, I'm not doing that shit. And then we also quick to say, well, what they paying? And then we gonna also quick to say, they don't pay enough for me to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So in those industries, if that's where they're doing the comparison from, in my opinion, that's a reasonable expectation for why we don't show up in those industries.
Mm-hmm. Right, but I mean, to piggyback but disagree on that point, every industry he just named had a retail. So we don't break down the fine science to that. I mean, we don't break that down to a fine science. Every industry that he just named has a retail.
But see, this is my whole thing. See, this is my whole thing.
We quick to leave a job when we feel like they done wronged us. We can't get down with. We came here looking for a job. We'll leave and find another.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah. But see, this is my whole thing.
That has been us.
But this is my whole thing. Whatever metrics that are being used are the same metrics that are being used, whether it's the Democrats in administration or a Republican administration. It still consistently shows that under the Democratic administration, unemployment or the unemployment rate is lower under the Democrat, and it's higher.
Right, because I would say Republicans build and Democrats spend.
What did you just say?
Which is why I say Republican administrations watch construction, and doing Democratic administrations watch retail.
Oh, okay.
There's always going to be a counterbalance to the two. Now, I'm not saying that there's a specific reason behind it. I'm not saying that there's a science behind it. But what I am saying is there's going to be a lot of justification there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
Everybody has an angle. So I'm with you on that.
Okay. All right. So that was one point I just wanted to loop back around. There was another one here. Let me see here. Aaron brought up the American Rescue Plan and how that illustrated how we kicked the can down the road. And I'm gonna put words in his mouth, and so he'll have to correct me here. Basically, I think he was saying that when the bills Biden and Kamala made come due, Biden and Kamala aren't there, so Trump gets the blame. Is that did you kind of say something to that effect, Aaron?
I said that there's a constant domino effect to that, but yeah.
Okay, all right. So, so I would assume then the same thing when Trump turned the country over to Biden, and the inflation went up to 9.1 under Biden. Should we blame Trump? Should we blame that on Trump?
Yes.
Okay, all right, good. I'm glad you said that. Okay, and so now the inflation is down to 2.4, which is lower than when Trump took office. So should we blame that or give the credit for that low inflation to Biden and Harris?
Yeah, because I told you.
Okay, good.
Democrats
Okay, good.
win.
Oh, okay, good. All right.
Republicans build.
Okay, so no.
Democrats, what, Aaron? Say that again.
I said Democrats spend, Republicans build. Watch retail when a Democrat is in office.
Okay.
Retail's always booming. When the Republican is in office, we're always at war. It's
good points. Good. All good. All right, and I agree with you on that. Good points.
There's a counterbalance to all of it. Like I think we're dealing with we're not dealing with like the microcosm of the issue. Like if we're able to break this down to a fine science, man, we would truly like see that we definitely agree a hell of a lot more than we disagree. We just don't we don't agree with the process. We don't agree with certain legislation.
Right.
I think the whole system needs to be busted up and start over from scratch.
What would it look like? What would it look like? What would if the system was redone? If the system was redone, what would it look like to you? Maybe.
Okay, I'm gonna put a term in there, a phrase that you and I've heard this for years. What do you call a vote for the lawyers that just sank? A good start.
Say that again, brother. Say that again, brother.
I said we've heard this phrase over the years. What do you call a vote for the lawyers that just sank? A good start. So with that being said, all that old thinking, the old way of doing things, or better yet, the current way of doing things, you have to start there. It has to be rethought of. You need new faces in there, new eyes in there, new ideas.
Evolution is a real thing.
I don't think our political system evolved. It's the same old can being kicked down the road. It's just dressed up differently. Right. You can put lipstick and a dress on a pig and still a piece of pork. That lies the problem. Because we want to band-aid it. We want lipstick and dress it up to make it look like something that it's not. It's still the same old system. Is there racism in the system? Yes. Is there racism on both sides? Is there inequalities built into the system? Absolutely. So if we really want a better change in this country, we got to rip this current system out the ground and plant a whole new forest. And it's going to take years, if not decades, to do that. But are we willing to do that? I think therein lies the problem. We don't want to rip it up. We don't want to start over.
But our same old politicians are not capable of doing it.
Correct. They're not. Because the politicians that are put in place, they're not put in place by the politicians. They're put in place by the powers that be.
But see, you guys are hitting on some key points to me. You guys are hitting on some key points. You just hit on it. Me personally, I don't really think it's the system. I think it's the people that we're putting into the system. Like right now, think about it. Think about it. Seriously, hold up a second. Just think about it. No matter what you thought of Biden and Kamala Harris, no matter what you thought of them as people, no matter what you thought of them as politicians. Now, seriously, I want you to think for a minute. When they was in office for 4 years, they had the same laws that we have now. They had the same laws. But now, because we got a different administration in there starting at the top, look at the state of the country now as far as what's happened with a lot of these these laws. Trump is bypassing Congress. He's not doing what he's supposed to do. He's out here attacking people willy-nilly, blowing boats out the damn water, threatening the countries, putting ICE where they ain't supposed to be. Supposedly now I heard they're going to put them in at the airports. So you got the same laws, the same programs, the same policies, but you got different people in there that are administering those policies and laws. I think that's really what the problem is. I think if the people that we elect to represent us, basically, I think if they would just go ahead and follow, it's just like with Obamacare. I hate to go back to Obamacare again, but it's just like Obamacare. When Obamacare came out, it was not perfect. Even Obama himself admitted that. But instead of trying to fix the program, we just went ahead. Some of us of the opposite side, they decided they was going to tear it down instead of trying to make it better. So that's my point. My point is I think that there's a lot of laws, there's a lot of programs that are in place, but I really think it's the politicians that we are electing that's doing more damage. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go a step further with that. The people that are in office are put there based off of the system. The system is the problem, because if the system that we have was better, those people wouldn't be in office.
Well, we're voting. We got to sit. Look. Okay, so tell me this then. Tell me this. Those people that are put in office, they're put in office as a result of, my understanding, unless I'm missing something,
of going along with the system.
No. Let me finish. Those people are put in office because they got voted in, as far as I know. In other words, we voters, we American citizens, we're the ones that's putting these people in these positions, as far as I know. So it's not the system; it's us.
So that part is true. Now, I think what he's saying about the system, that part is true. They're put in through the vote. But before you go and cast your vote, you have the system at play, the reason that you feel like this person or this person is going to get my vote. So they come in, they tell you this, and this, and then you go to sleep on that, and then you wake up, and unbeknownst to you, you done got caught up in this system. And now you putting this same person in place because that's what you were fed, that's what you came to believe, because a lot of us is not going to go on and do our independent research.
Right.
A lot of us is going to take what we hear.
That's right.
Take what other people are doing.
Yep.
Take what we think is the best for the situation without doing our own independent research.
Yes.
Stacey, not to cut you off, man, but what you just said is my biggest problem with Democrats. The way I define that is democratic comfort. Like, we have pledged our vote to a party that simply put, man, will not do nothing for you.
Well, I don't think it's specific to a party. I just think that's just the overall outlook on the system.
You don't think Trump could be bought?
Everybody is being bought.
Not by black people.
By the majority. It's not, this is not a black or white. It's not a other. It's a majority.
Right.
It's a majority and it's a minority.
Right. And by that comment alone, I would say I appreciate what Trump is doing, because it's a microcosm of showing you, simply put, what every other president could have done by bypassing Congress and getting real legislation.
So Trump he's taking advantage of the current rules that's on the book.
I want to be able to purchase the person that I could do that from.
Yeah, I would love for a Democratic leadership to take a page out of the Republicans and just do it. And what they say, I'll rather suffer the consequences and
ask for forgiveness before I ask for permission.
Right.
So what you just said is the Republican Party isn't bought. What you just said out loud was that the Republican Party isn't bought and the Democratic Party is.
Give me some things that you think that you can specifically say, that you can take a look at the last 50 years, whatever. Some specific things that you think that the Republican Party in general has done specifically for black people. What do you think? Can you name some things?
They left my gun laws alone.
Brother, you and those guns.
They
I'm
left
worried
me the
about you.
opportunity.
Aaron, I'm worried about you and
They
those
left-
guns.
Hold on.
Go
hold
ahead.
on. Hold on. They left me the opportunity to protect the people that I love the way I want to. And the moment you change that, this is no longer America. We are no different than a third world the moment you take those weapons away. The only reason why being able to go to the poll matters is because we got guns. The moment you take that away, it ain't gonna matter no more. Any country that's present and prevalent today that don't have them don't have an opinion.
So now let me ask you this question. The last two Democratic administrations, the Biden administration, Biden-Harris, and the Obama-Biden administration, what did they actually do? What did they actually do to deny you your ability to purchase a weapon to protect yourself?
They did a great job in starting the conversation. They did a great job in literally basically making the NRA go to the most basic of constitutional laws.
Yeah, but what did they actually do?
The right to bear arms.
Did they actually take any weapons? Did they deny you from getting a weapon?
No, they
made it difficult. Their goal is this thing works in different ways, and you know this. They don't just come out and say we're gonna take your gun. No, they start in California where they limit the magazines to 10 rounds as opposed to 30. That's one thing. Then they start.
Why would you need 30 rounds? What would you need 30 rounds for in a magazine? What the hell? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Because people who wear their uniform got them.
Hold on, Aaron. Let me say this.
They got bazookas too. They got tanks too. Come on now.
Hold on, Pop.
Go ahead.
Pop,
You should have them too.
They never. This is the thing. They never say we're gonna take your guns away. They start limiting. They start chipping away at that right that you have to own a gun. They start chipping at the amount of ammunition you can have. That's where it starts. It doesn't stop there.
Look, you never had a right, Jackie. You never had a right.
Hold on, Pop.
Okay, go ahead.
What now?
Go ahead.
My point is, they never say this is what we're going to do. They start, okay, we're going to do this because it benefits you over there. That sort of thing. Knowing that they have a much larger agenda on the backside of this thing, and that's why the Republicans are going to step and say, no, we're going to push back at this from the start. Now, do I need 30 rounds? No, but at 2 o'clock in the morning, someone comes into my house, I need 60. I don't need 30. I need 60, just in case.
Have more magazines. Have more magazines. Have more magazines. Go ahead.
Freedom is free. No, we know freedom ain't free. He's retired military. Pop is retired Air Force. We know freedom ain't free. But my point is this: freedom means this. I should have the ability that my freedom in that space is not infringing on anybody else.
Are you trying to say it should be unlimited? Let me ask you this. Let me stop you for a second. Are you telling me that, these are words, I'm putting words in your mouth. Are you suggesting that maybe your right to own or to protect yourself as far as guns and that type of thing, do you think it should be unlimited?
Yes, because
come
freedom
on, guys.
means at the end of hold on. Freedom means at the end of
let me add a different perspective.
I get it, but let me get this one off.
Let me add a different perspective. Hear me out. So I'm 52. I could remember as a child, my mom and dad, they drove a Buick 4-door, and at that time, seatbelts wasn't a big issue. But also at that time, the amount of lives that was lost from people not wearing their seatbelts in an automobile was astronomical, right? So over a course of where I am now to me being 52, you can get pulled over and ticketed for not wearing a seatbelt. So in a country and a nation of laws, that these laws are put in place to better a whole, not a specific, not an individual, not a certain section, but as a whole. You put these laws in to help as a whole. So there was no pushback on wearing a seatbelt. You just started wearing your seatbelt because it was the law. So you have
America?
these laws in place to protect people from themselves.
Thank you.
America is America because at the end of reason, they had a bigger gun.
Come on, thank you.
But you can't cherry pick.
There's no but after that, bro.
You can't
There's a
cherry
but after that.
pick which avenue you want the laws to apply for if it's administered for the whole of everybody.
Very good point. Very good point. And that's what I think we lose sight of. My daughter, Nikki, she's sitting here now. When she not on air, she'd give me all these ideas and all these. And we were just talking about just what you're saying right now, brother, about the laws. She was saying that very thing that you're saying. And sometimes we don't start thinking about these laws until they start affecting us specifically. Like in this case, hey, these Democrats, they want to limit, my gun thing. Well, that's only one little small part of what the Democrats can or won't do for you. Same thing with the Republicans. We're talking about one little area here. And then when I asked you, the last two Democratic administrations, what did they actually do? Not what they said or what they tried. What they actually did. Obama had 8 years to do it. Biden had 4 years. They didn't take your guns. They didn't prevent you from getting guns.
Yes.
Now, yes, you're right. You're right. They don't want you.
How many bullets I could carry?
Hey, look, they took your books, though.
My point exactly.
No, I'm saying this administration. They took your books.
They took your books.
Actively erasing your history.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. And those are the things that we don't think about. We're narrow-minded. We need to be more open-minded about what's going on here. Go ahead.
I understand that. You're right. They did come at the books. They came at the statutes. They did all of that. I understand it. So yes, let's push back against that. But leave the gun laws alone as well. Leave them alone.
You keep bringing up gun laws. They haven't changed them.
No.
Their Democrats haven't changed them.
All I'm saying is
And they
the books wasn't that
couldn't
good.
have because it's a school shooting every month.
What was that again, brother?
I mean,
I said they couldn't have taken them because it's a school shooting every month.
And guess what? What we didn't do?
And casualty every month.
Let me
sound
back
like a
this up a little
to
bit.
me.
Stacy, y'all don't know this, for the listeners. Stacy, he's a first responder. He's actually a firefighter in real life. That's what he does in real life. So he sees all this, and I get it. Got a few friends that are law enforcement. I understand it, and we've had some heated conversations. I've had heated conversations with some of my buddies that are law enforcement. When matter of fact, Pop, if you remember, was it 2016 when you in Phoenix when they took concealed carry away? You didn't need a license.
Right.
For concealed carry.
Right.
Yeah. And a bunch of my buddies that Phoenix PD, they had a problem with that.
Right.
So and I get that because they're coming from an angle where they're seeing this every day. I understand that.
If a doctor that was at a protest had license to carry whatever, legal, no corrupt background, and guess where he at? In the dirt.
Right. So there, we kind of verged off a little bit into to the gun thing, but Aaron, I get it. And you too, Jackie, I get it. That's a very important issue for you, an important area for you, and I hear you. But my whole thing is that there's so much more to this discussion as far as who should be leading the country, and what they're going to do or not do for the whole country. Not just for one aspect of it. Now, Aaron, I got to ask you this here, brother. I got to ask you this here. The individual's right and ability to own a gun. At what point in our history, in what point of American history, did that play a vital role? The importance of an individual having the ability to own a gun. What importance has that played in our history? I'm just curious.
I mean, that's real simple. Look at cities like Chicago where you can't own one and your gun literally. Okay. That's a good question, right? Because there's this one guy out of New York, and he's charged with attempted murder as a result of a guy walking up on him, attempting to kill him. He took that gun and fired that weapon. As a result of him doing that, he got charged with attempted murder. When you don't have sensible gun laws, you get stupid legislation. And that is my issues with Democrats. Like we don't have those conversations for the people who are who just so happen to be in that situation. We only saying that because simply put, man, there's a school shooting. The worst thing that ever happened to schools was somebody put a dumbass sign up there that said "No gun zone."
So are you suggesting we should allow guns in schools?
All I'm saying is, if we wouldn't have put that sign up there, you would never know.
Well, maybe we should. I think that might be a good topic for us in the future. We're going to have to get ready to close this thing out, but maybe that should be.
Let me touch on that real quick, Pop.
Go ahead.
Touch on this.
Go ahead.
You know how we can, and this is from my last deployment in Qatar. In Qatar, there's a school over there called the American School of Doha. So you know me, I work education up. So I go down. Me and a coworker and I, we had to go meet with this school. And the principal of the school told us, he said, in America, you guys got all these school shootings. He said, the one way you can avoid that, put armed guards at every school and you can afford it. You'll cancel all school shootings at that point. Put armed guards on every door in the school. You would stop people coming there, metal detectors and armed guards. You would stop all school shootings inside that school. It'll go away. It'll go away overnight. Overnight, it'll go away.
Now I could be wrong.
We won't do it.
I could be wrong, but I'll go and double check. But I'm pretty sure there's been school shootings where they've had guards in there.
No, I said put an armed guard.
Armed.
Armed guard.
Armed. I'm talking about armed.
And hold on. And put metal detectors for you walking at school. Just like you go through TSA, they're checking your bag. Put that at every school in this country. You would cut off school shootings.
I would agree. I would agree that would definitely have an effect. I would agree that better controls.
We as a country would take that away, but we won't. The country won't do it. The politicians in place won't do it because of that. Because the Democrats, it'll ruin their argument all day long. It'll ruin their argument.
It's not ruining their argument. It kills their propaganda.
Right, exactly. It will kill it. It will kill it.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think it's only Democrats? Do you think it's only Democrats that don't want guns in our schools? As far as armed guards, do you think it's only Democrats that don't want that?
No, I think it's about 85-90% of them that make up that majority.
Okay, I'll tell you what we'll do. Maybe we can do this next week. We'll have an episode on guns in America. What about that? What do you guys think about that next week? We'll do an episode on that.
All right, let's do that.
Okay, and then we'll talk.
Now, what will we be discussing with guns in America? What part of that? What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do we mean? Hell, the last 20 minutes we've been talking about guns. We're gonna talk about the right to bear arms. We're going to talk about the effects of guns in our communities. We're going to talk about what if we didn't have guns, pros and cons of we're going to talk the schools that you just mentioned, Jackie, about pros and cons of having schools, guns in our schools. We're going to talk about everything dealing with guns in America. How many guns should you have? How many should you need? We'll talk about all of that. What I'll do is I'll come up with an outline, guys, and I'll provide it to you. But anyway, we're going to have to go ahead and close this session out. So I'm going to give you guys, but that's what we'll do next week. We'll talk about guns. I'll send you guys the outline on it, and you can add to it and edit it however you want to do it. But we're going to go ahead and close out this episode. I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to make any last comments, and we'll close it out. You can go first, Aaron.
And once again, appreciate you for having me, man. Look forward to next week.
All right. Thank you for being here, brother.
No doubt.
My point is this right here. clearly, I'm just like I co-sign what Aaron just said. We appreciate all you guys listening. But the other part of that, as I always say, look, we gotta have these uncomfortable conversations because change don't come because when everybody's feeling comfortable. Change only comes when you're fighting. So let's continue this fight. Let's continue the conversation that's uncomfortable, and keep pushing. Not just kicking the can down the road. Let's try to rip up the street and build a new one.
Gotcha. All right. What about our special guest?
Nah, stay you to walk away real quick. Walk away.
Oh, okay then. All right. All right. Okay, guys. So again, thank you, listeners, for joining in. Next week we're gonna have an episode dealing with guns in America, and again, thanks for joining us. Any feedback provided to D, and this on Facebook, DNA Hardwired. Common sense turned upside down. Again, that's DNA Hardwired. Common sense turned upside down. You know what? I did it again. I'm over here looking, and I looked at my my other platform here, and we've got Porcupine that's joining us, and he been on. So I really, truthfully, I didn't expect anybody else to be joined in. Let me just take a quick minute here and see what Porcupine is saying here. Let's see here. I can't really say which question he was addressing. I can only give his statement here. He says, maybe you can help me. I thought that the black made a big impact with the NRA out of Georgia in the rest. So that was a comment he made. Maybe you can help me. I thought the black made a big impact with the NRA out of Georgia. I don't know if anybody got any comment on that. And then he says, ammunition is an issue. And then he says, how many guns do you need? I got into a big thing with this constitutionalist on a podcast over weapons and how many you have to bear. You only have 2 arms. Then he said nothing. Then he said bullet stacking, penetrate bulletproof vests, then hollow tips. They're not good. You don't need it, and you don't need a 45 caliber gun on the streets or a machine gun. Facts, Porcupine Park. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I absolutely agree with that. Right? You don't need them until you need them. The moment you take them away, I guarantee you the only people that got them are cops and criminals.
And that's my biggest issue. We said this for decades, Pop. We've heard this for decades. If you take guns away from law-abiding citizens, only criminals gonna have guns. So we cannot touch the Second Amendment. You gotta leave it alone. I should be able to have as many guns as my garage will hold.
You know what? I'm not a fortune teller or anything like that. But you know what? This is what I predict. You and I'll be dead and gone. Your kids, your grandkids, and their kids and grandkids. But you know what? I predict that one day, private citizens will not, in America, they will not be allowed to own guns.
And guess what? All you got to do is go to Europe, go to England, look.
But I'm talking about America. I'm talking about America right now because you know why? You know why I think that it won't, because it doesn't make any damn sense. Just like Porcupine is saying right here, some of the things that he's saying about guns. It's silly. We're not back in the continental days and way back in the day, wild west. Everybody got guns, and here's something you guys need to think about. Here's what I want you to think about. You know that there was one time we had this thing called the Wild West, and people had a right to wear guns. At some point, and maybe I'm going to try to do some research on this and make it part of our podcast next week. What happened to that? What happened to being allowed to openly carry a gun on? There's some point in our history that was done away with, and there was a reason why it was done away with. And then all of a sudden, there came a time where it came back up again. I'm gonna do some research on that, and we'll talk about that. But I think in our future, go ahead.
I grew up in the South, and I grew up at a time. And this is basically, Aaron may have taught some of this, tail end of this, but I remember them old guys in the country. They used to ride around with a 30-30 in them trucks. That was a gun rack that you would hang in your back window. and you'll see guys riding around with their rifles in the back in the back window of that truck on the inside with a gun hanging on a gun rack. As you drove down the street, you went to church with your gun in the car. You hung out at night with your gun in the car. Everybody knew it. Guess what? Guess what? A lot didn't happen back then. If everybody got guns, guess what? Nobody got a gun.
That's crazy. I've heard. Look, brother. I've heard that reasoning, and that's crazy. But let me see here.
Everybody has a gun. That's the only time you have reason.
Hold on one second. Porcupine
Right,
is still talking here. He says, "I used to go hunting with some crazy guys." He says, "I've shot a lot of stuff. I had a license," and he says, "This shit don't make no sense." So, but go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah, another one here says, hold up, another point he says here. He says, you got to come out of the past. There's too many people on the planet. We have a gun issue. We have a white supremacist, blacks, everybody's crazy. You could have the right to bear arms. How many do you need? He said, his garage, but what happens when somebody breaks in and steals, like happened to my friend coming from the gun range? But anyway, go ahead, I'm sorry, I cut somebody off.
No, he said, what, repeat that last statement he made?
He says, you got to come out of the past. There's too many people on the planet. We have a gun issue. We have white supremacists, blacks. Everybody's crazy. You could have the right to bear arms. How many do you need? He said his garage.
As many as I want. And that's part of the problem. You don't tell people how many cars they can buy. You don't tell people how many houses they can buy. So don't try to tell me how many guns I should be able to have. At all.
Brother, you come up with. I understand why you're a Republican. You come up with these crazy comparisons. A gun compared to a car?
No, a car can be used as a weapon. A car can be used as a weapon just like a gun can. Let's stop playing. We got a video.
So can water.
Of people getting killed in South Carolina with a car.
I can kill somebody by drowning them too. But why am I comparing water with a gun?
Right.
It ain't got nothing to do with nothing. But go
that
ahead.
Just proves my point. That just proves my point. I guarantee you this: you're never gonna try to drown a sun gun with a gun on it.
No, I agree with that.
I promise you that.
Yeah. I ain't gonna try
Therefore,
to. I'm not gonna. Me personally. I'm not gonna try to kill anybody with anything. That's just me because I got a little bit of sense. The brother here, Porcupine says.
My point is this. My gun is to protect me. It's to protect me and the people that are around me.
Let me ask you a question.
That's what my gun
Let me
is
ask you a question, brother. Let me ask you a question. I want to address the point you just made. It's for your protection. You're 54.
Yes.
How many times have you needed a gun to protect yourself?
I only count one time that I actually had to grab it.
Explain that to me. What happened, if you don't mind?
Hold on, Pop. Hold on. I can't hear you. Say that again.
I said you said there was one occasion that you could remember where you needed your gun. So my question was, could you share that with us if you're able?
No. I can share it to you. I was married. I thought I heard someone in the house. And I'm walking through. I get up. I'm like, I hear somebody. I hear somebody downstairs. So I go grab my gun. And I go through the house. I go through my house. This is around about 1993. I go through the house. Now that's the only time and there was no one in the house. It was my son up downstairs. He was only about 3.
Thank God you didn't shoot him. Thank God you didn't shoot him.
No, because guess what? I got my head on straight. I didn't go shoot through a wall or a door and not.
You know how many crazy people have done that? But think about it though. My whole point. Okay. This was my whole point. In your whole 50 and Jackie, brother, I don't want to share too much, but Jackie, brother, I've known you for a long time, and I know you.
Over 20.
I know you, right? If you've only had to have one occasion where you need your gun possibly, and it was in your own house, what the hell you need a gun for, brother?
Hold on.
Because he can't count the number of times that because everybody else who had one knew he had one, he was all good.
I got you.
Now I'm gonna go a step further. It's not the number of times that I had the gun and didn't need it. It's the one time that I needed it and didn't have it. That's the one we always look over. That part of the equation.
Well, let me tell you this, brother. I'm a lot older than you, as you know. And in my lifetime, the only time I've ever needed a gun was when I was in Vietnam for a year. That was it. I've never needed a gun on the street. And I grew up in Pittsburgh. And I go back to Pittsburgh at least once a year. I've never had an occasion. Where I've needed a gun. But go ahead.
I'm gonna throw our background in this. You and I both retired Air Force, and you work personnel behind the desk. So did I. But every year we got to go through what? M16 training. Did we or did we not? M4 training. Did we or did we not?
Yes.
Now the chances of us, hold on, Aaron. The chances of us going to war and shooting a gun was limited by what our job was.
Right.
But we went through training.
Right.
Just in case.
Right. So I'll tell you what, guys. A half hour ago, we would bring this session to a close. But I wanted to try to get a few words in from Porcupine. I appreciate him joining us. And
hey, look, let me say this.
Go ahead.
Porcupine, I appreciate the interaction. It's needed.
Absolutely.
And we need people like you on this podcast. So do not stop listening.
There you go. There you go.
Now we're not going to disagree on this, but I want you to continue to listen because we got to have these conversations.
Right. And Porcupine. So what we're going to do is we're definitely going to cover this topic next week, and I'm going to have my assistant here monitoring this particular platform here. Truthfully, the only reason I went ahead and sent out the notice for this particular streaming was for my wife so she can listen to it. But what I'll do is again, we're going to make sure that we cover this subject. And I think what I'll do, Porcupine, is I'll go ahead. If you go ahead and give me your some way to contact you, I'll make sure that you get a personal invite to this. Okay. Okay, guys. I think this is.
So next week at Porcupine, next week we're gonna talk about guns. We're gonna talk about gun laws in America, gun control, all this right here. So we need your interaction.
There you go.
Your position is needed. It's needed.
There you go. All right, guys. Again, thank you, and we're really gonna seriously sign off this time. We're signing off this time. So Aaron, Jackie, brother, love you guys, and we'll talk next week. Okay.
All right, now. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening.
Absolutely, man.
Think it through, people.